Hello everybody! Welcome to the stream. My name is SenseiSuplex, and today is the day we have the D&D Sensei show as we're back and we're ready to tell you all the cool new stuff that's happening in Aurora. We're talking D&D, we're talking anime, we're talking video games, and we're having a good time while doing it. Because today is good old Freedom America Day. Yeah! Would you look at that? It's July 4th, and we're streaming anyways. How's it going, everybody? Hope you guys have had an awesome, what day is it? Today's Friday. Yeah, I hope you guys have had an awesome week today, as some of you guys are off, some of you guys are gearing up for the weekend and more. And we got a lot of stuff to cover. Over the past 24 hours, I became a YouTube celebrity. I'm kidding, not really. But a lot of things have happened because not only did we have the Shadow of War video that just got dropped, and a lot of people are really liking it. But we also had the Night Wardens campaign, or Project First Line. That campaign just got dropped yesterday, and it blew up the entire Discord server. So we're going to be talking about that as well, and gearing up for the next, or part 2 for that session, being the Dawnbreakers on Sunday. Beyond that, let's go over what we're doing today. So we got a lot of cool stuff for each and every one of you. First things first, also welcome Ghosty, appreciate you for jumping on in. But we're going to be making a State of Decay 2 in D&D, because this dumbass over here decided to come up with a cool, wacky little idea. That idea was to essentially ask, what if you guys could actually play as the rivals in the Phoenix District? Yeah, it's about to get weird, it's about to get wacky, but we'll get to that in a minute. Beyond that, we're also making a system, so again, you could be the rivals. It's going to be kind of like a mix between The Sims and zombies or Walking Dead. As they all meet Dungeons and Dragons. It's gonna be crazy. We're also gonna be brainstorming the Rivals Part 2 video, as I know a lot of people are actually really interested in it, and I know that a lot of the people wanted me to expand on the allies system, because I actually didn't really do it that much justice, because I kind of like highlighted it for like 10 seconds and then just went on to the next thing. But realistically, that's kind of how it happened. The players kind of threw it onto me that they wanted to make allies or recruit individuals, so I just let them do it, because I was like, screw it, why not? Also, my hair is a mess, but you guys can't tell. It's supposed to be a mess. But beyond that, we're going to be recording some future videos if I somehow, some way get the script ready for it. I do have a Monster Hunter video that kind of talks about like how I use Monster Hunter tactics and techniques, and as well as other MMORPG techniques to make cool, awesome boss fights. So if we get to that, then dope. And if we don't, whatever, who cares? We got time. So beyond that, that's the plan for the day. We're going to be answering each and every one of your questions. We're going to be having a great freaking time. So special shout out to you, Chaos. Welcome on in. Yobi, hello. How's it going? All right. So let's talk about what's been going on recently. I guess let's highlight more so Project First Line, and then we're going to talk about the Shadow War Nemesis system in a second. So Project First Line, well, that's been the big old campaign that I've been working on in the background for a long while. I actually made the Nemesis system for a long-term campaign, just like Project First Line. Well, yeah, for that reason. Oh, damn, we're breaking out the Persona music? I don't know if that's allowed. You know what? Fine, I'll let it rock. We'll just get demonetized on YouTube, but it's fine. That said, what I was going to say is, yeah, so Project First Line, it just dropped yesterday, and the reason why that campaign is so significant, beyond being like the thing that I'm going to be doing for the next 4 to 6 months, is that, well, it started off with a bang. When I mean a bang, I mean a big old shadow. That shadow basically, well, it's essentially shadowed tons and tons of individuals, basically rendering them, well, possibly dead. We're not entirely sure what's going on with them. It has thrown the Discord into a fury, as players are like, holy crap, some of their favorite NPCs have just completely they're gone. They were there one day and now they're not. All of Seraph Prime, which is one of the major playable continents in, well, Sahiria and just Project Aurora, it is a black blip or black dot on the map. It is insane. Something like this has never necessarily really happened before in Project Aurora. The closest thing to it was, honestly, well, one, when the continents got revealed themselves, two, when Amari got shadowed similarly, but at least for the most part, people were kind of away from the area, and they were at least able to evacuate. Beyond that, the closest other thing was when Seraph Prime and the Azure Valley literally got forcefully connected due to wild magic, a bit of Frostfire Opals, and other things. So this is a travesty right now across all of Project Aurora, and you guys are gonna have to stay tuned for what's gonna happen next, because we got a lot of cool things happening. So yeah, was someone that you know, was someone that you known, or was someone that you know shadowed from the Project Aurora World event? Let me know in chat. Let me know in chat, and if you're excited and what your theories about this whole world event are. Beyond that, the other thing that we want to recap, George, no. Yeah, George was taken. George the Bodley Goon. George was taken. But beyond that, some of you guys over on the YouTube side of things may be here because you realize that, well, you may have seen my new Shadow of War Nemesis system video where I talked about the Rising Rival system. Let me actually show you guys some of the stats right now, because this is insanity, actual insanity. I think there's only ever been one video that's gotten this good of reception, and that was the Wukong video. But I'm gonna be real, it could be just copium, because I released that video nearly a year ago. But I don't think even that video got that much traction or like love. So we're gonna hop over to the YouTube side of things. And so yeah, like this is actually when I first started my YouTube arc. I just did a funny joke video of like, if you ran an awful session, quit, but it has don't in the background. But Wukong, basically this video right here, it did 7.5 thousand views, which is insane still to this day. It's got 357 likes at 7.5k views, and it was basically just me talking about how I suck at Souls games. And this is my first one. It was a pretty good video. But now we have the Nemesis system video. Like, seriously. And holy shit! Wait, what? Huh? Yo, wait, hold on. I don't think you guys realize what I see. Hold on, let me put my freaking glasses on. I had to put my spectacles on. This has 3.4 thousand views, and it has 615 likes. This has nearly double the amount of likes and half the amount of views. What the fuck? Who are you people? You know that meme where it's like, or you remember that one time in SpongeBob where Patrick just shows back up to his house and he just sees like a bunch of people just like under his rock? Yeah, that's me right now. Who are you people? Also, welcome Black Knight. Appreciate you for the follow, and thank you for, well, jumping on in. That video got me to join the Discord. Hell yeah. Actually, I think I had to personally accept your application. Also, for those of you who are just like waiting to get your application accepted, the reason why it's a wait or it's a queue is because those are for the people who wanted to actually play in Aurora with me and then all the other staff members and stuff. Right now, we have a lot of player managers who are on vacation or and all that cool stuff. So we're giving them a break, but we're trying to also bolster our team as fast as possible because we didn't expect this video especially to get as much traction as it did, and also get as many people to join the Discord as it did. Because this isn't even the video that I'm going to be actually like breaking down what Project Aurora is. This is just a random video that I want to make because it was cool. Thank you, Reversal Wizard, for the follow. Appreciate you, buddy. Welcome on in. Oh man, that is insane. So to further break down some of this video, so we got a lot of craziness. So we got people. Oh man, this is just insane to see, y'all. This is insane to see. Like I don't even know what to say, because like, look, hold on. Can I get sentimental with you guys for a little bit? Can I get sentimental? Can I just say something real quick? Look, y'all. Oh man, the lighting fucked up. But here, give me 2 seconds. Shitty YouTuber setup, go. Haha, the lighting is fixed, I think, I hope. But yeah, so let me be real with you guys for a bit. I have been doing YouTube since I was literally 8 years old. Literally 8 years old now. Yeah, I'm a young guy, whatever. I'm 24, blah, 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 blah. You're old. Okay, cool. But I've been doing YouTube since I was 8. And I remember to this day when I was just posting random like little stop motion action figure videos, uh, where I would just like take a pic, or I would pretend like the action figures are like fighting and stuff like that. I would set them up in a way, make a whole WWE arena, take a picture, move them a little bit, take another picture, move another bit, take another picture, and then play it back to make it seem like it was actually like, you know, them fighting one another. And I remember those those videos, they got like 10, 13 views. And shortly afterwards, I did the whole Minecraft YouTuber where it's like, hey, everybody, my name is SenseiSuplex. I'm a Minecraft Let's Player, and we're going to be going off into the Underworld, or I don't fucking know. Like that whole thing. And I did that for a couple of years and then eventually dropped off on YouTube before eventually returning back with D&D and more. And it's just, oh man, it's been so many years since all of this began. And to see just, not necessarily the views, more so I'm more focused on seeing all the comments that you guys have sort of left on that video, basically saying like, holy crap, this is a great idea, I'm going to implement this into my game, or holy crap, why didn't I think about this, or hey, I've never played D&D before, actually, you know what, this convinced me, I'm going to go check out this Discord, yada yada yada. Just the, always look at it where D&D can really impact a bunch of lives, and hey, I'm able to help people run games in a new and cool, unique way that I typically try to run, and that's just awesome and dope to me. And then also on top of that, showing more people that hey, you can play D&D too. It might be something for you. You might have only played Shadow of War and just typical video games, but there's ways to implement those little bit of tactics and techniques to get you hooked and invested into it just as well. So point is that I'm glad I can, more people are able to see this system, and hopefully more people get into D&D because of it, or just TTRPGs in general. I'm excited. So thank you guys again. If you want, or if you watch the video, go leave a like on it. Go check it out if you haven't. You guys are freaking dope. You guys are fucking dope. Thank you. All right, enough of that sentimental bull crap out of the way. Let's go back to the fun stuff. Let's go play some disco music. Where's Jamie's theme? All right. So here's what we got. Also, thank you, Reese. Appreciate you for jumping on in. Actually, I'm gonna need more mods. I was actually thinking about this, Reese. We're gonna need more mods on the mod team because we have a couple of new ideas. I think Nero mentioned this before. I think I mentioned this on stream as well, where mods would basically jump into the Foundry sessions, and they would give inspiration to the players like for me, so I wouldn't have to like constantly be worrying about checking chat whenever you guys give an inspiration out to one of the players and stuff. So. If you guys are interested in being a mod for the Twitch channel, just let me know, and then I will, I'll look into it, of course. Obviously, I want community members who have been in the Project Aurora Discord for a while, not just random Joe Schmo who, I don't know, just jumped in like 10 days ago. Old Cobalt over on YouTube says, hey, I just found your channel. I was listening to your Nemesis Shadow of Mordor system. I really liked it and can't wait to see more from you. Sorry, I was listening to it while driving. Actually, wait, no, I remember your comment. Actually, I remember your comment. That comment made my freaking morning. I woke up at like 7:42 today. I woke up early. I don't know why. And I read your comment, and it meant the world to me. I am so glad that you enjoyed it and that you clicked on it on a whim. That means the world to me. Thank you so much. Nerd. Damn right, I'm a nerd at play D&D. Ghosty, you have literally a session probably today, knowing you. You freaking loser. You freak. I'm kidding. Delborn or Delbone over on YouTube says, yo, I just applied. Can't wait if I get in, or if not, I can't wait to see more. Oh, don't worry. It's only a matter of time probably when you get in, unless we somehow run out of space for players. It's more of a matter of time. You're probably gonna have to wait a little bit. Hold on. Jamie's killing it. I'm sorry, I love this song. This song goes a little bit too crazy. You just can't help but dance. But Del, you're gonna most likely get in. It's just a matter of waiting for the player managers to get to your application. As a note, let's just see how many applications we've got right now. Maple in the Discord, one of our, oh, wrong channel. Hold up, let's, I'm not showing anything crazy. Okay, cool. Maple, one of the player managers, is freaking out because we have 35 total applications. I don't know if you guys can see it, but we have 35 total applications right now. And yeah, so we got a little bit to go through, and we only have like about, I'm gonna be real, like 2, 3 maybe on or player managers right now, so we are spread a little thin. We did not expect this video to blow up. I'm actually hesitant on making the video that's going to be asking you guys to join Project Aurora and telling you everything it's all about. I'm actually a little bit hesitant because I don't want to overwhelm the team because I feel like they're actually going to kill me. So, yeah, that's where we're at right now. But thank you. This is amazing. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. All right, let's do it. Okay, so here's what it is. So for those of you who have watched the Nemesis system video, you might love this. You might like it. So, and also if you have any questions about it, just ask. I'm gonna answer it to the best of my ability. There's a lot of stuff I didn't include in that video because I was like, yo, this video is actually 24 minutes long. Okay, hold on. Persona, you just played. What are we doing here? All right, we're gonna play Zangief's song because I like Zangief. Zangief is cool. My loyal fans. Yeah, if you guys have any questions about the Nemesis system, there's a lot of stuff I didn't include because the video, when I was first recording it, it was about 27 minutes long. I cut out so much shit, y'all. Like, so much stuff. It's actually absurd. And a lot of the comments were like people who were talking about the ally system. I'm like, I actually had a solution for it. I just couldn't include it because it was just too long, dude. So I want to make a follow-up to it. But if you want some sneak peeks to it, then yeah, just ask questions. I'll answer it to the best of my ability. Wait, hold up, Persona and Street Fighter fan? I do love Street Fighter. I haven't played Persona. I just love its music. We have a lot of Persona fans in the Discord for Project Aurora. So they just shoot me a lot of recommendations and all that stuff. Thank God it didn't blow up like 100k V blow up. Well, fun fact, that did happen before. It was 1,000 people, but that was the first ever like YouTube video I posted, or TikTok video that I posted promoting Aurora. So who knows? Who knows? All right, so let's talk about it. So what we're gonna be doing today, or what I wanted to do, was I wanted to expand the rival system in a new, funny, wacky little way. Most of you guys have never heard of this game, but one of the nearest and dearest zombie games to my heart is a funny little indie game called State of Decay. And I played State of Decay 1, I played 2, and I've been waiting very patiently for State of Decay 3. Despite them not saying jack diddly squat about any of it. Microsoft, if you do let me, or if I do blow up for some reason, please let me go fly out to, you know, like play it. I'll drive back to Atlanta. I'll do what I gotta do, bro. I just let me fucking play the game, goddammit. Anyways, sorry, I crash out occasionally. But yes, State of Decay 2, one of my favorite zombie games. If you do not know State of Decay, essentially it is like The Sims meets The Walking Dead. I say that because State of Decay 2 is basically your typical survival zombie game. And you may be like, well, I fucking hate zombie survival games. Well, I do too. But here's the thing that I like about it. State of Decay is more of a third-person action shooter game. This is not sponsored. I don't know why this sounds like a sponsored video, but it's more of an action shooter thing where you guys play as random sort of survivors who obviously are trying to survive the zombie apocalypse. But it's more so focused on community building and yeah, just building up a base of badass survivors from literally nobodies. You may have an individual who just has asthma, they're a tech nerd, and now they're turning into a badass zombie apocalypse survivor. You may have a individual who is in like a firefighter, so they may have a higher constitution or higher pain tolerance or something like that. And they have their own little bits of benefits and buffs. The point is that anybody can be a badass, anybody can be a survivor. And I thought of the idea, well, what if we did that and what if we made a little mini campaign around it? And I was like, oh, hell yeah. Because I was gonna make a video today. I was gonna make a video of like talking about like how I use Monster Hunter mechanics, and I was like, well, I haven't played too much of Monster Hunter, so I don't know if I could really like genuinely like make a video about it and feel authentic with it, right? So I thought of like, oh, well, I played State of Decay 2. What if we use some, what if I talked about the old survival resource mechanics that I used to use before? And that's how this video kind of came about. But how does, SenseiSuplex is rambling. How the hell does this tie into the Nemesis system? How does this tie into the Rising Rival system? Also, as a note, we ramble a lot on this stream. We yap a lot. So if you don't like it, I hate to say it, you're gonna have to get used to it. I apologize, but not really. It's just who I am. We yap here. So, how does this tie into the Nemesis system? Well, I thought of an idea. So in my Nemesis system, or rival system in this case, I have it where the players fight goblins. These kind of like vampiric goblins ran by a evil king named King Leonios, right? And the thing is that these goblins, they're a little bit deranged, they're a little bit psychotic, they're insane. And I was like, you know, what if the players could play as these goblins? And what if the players could actually play as the villains? What if they could play as the nemesis or the rivals here? And that's what I thought of this. So my idea is that I want to basically make it where we're gonna go a whole different shift. We're gonna take a completely different shift. This isn't something that I'm recommending that you add to your rival system, not at all. This is just something that I want to do because I think it's sick, right? State of Decay 3 needs to hurry up and drop. Facts, actually facts. Let's see. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to make it where one thing that I want to prove is that, how do I put this? I want to help individual players, at least that are playing in this campaign, I suppose. I want to help players make, how do I put this? It's not make better characters. I want to help players see character creation in a new light. I'll try to tie this together, but it's going to be a little bit of a, I'm going to be reaching a little bit. I'm not going to, I'm going to reach a little bit. But one thing, okay, so I used to be a player or a person who used to make characters with long drawn out backstories. I used to have all these sort of crazy visions and ideals of like what my PC should be when I make them, or that ideal moment that they're going to have before I've even rolled a dice with them. I actually made a whole video about this as well, somewhere on the YouTube channel, like how to make awesome characters. I think it has Grog as the thumbnail. But the point is that the problem with that was that when I would make these characters and when I'd actually play in the session, either I would just get bored of them for some reason. I would kind of lose investment in them because a lot of the fun, a lot of the character creation aspects would kind of go away once we started rolling dice, once we started playing them. And I eventually went about character creation a different way, where instead of getting invested into the character from day one, I would get invested into the character throughout the entire campaign, which sounds obvious, but it's a little bit more nuanced than you think. So what I did was I decided to just take random character concepts of just string them together and then figure out just more of a fleshed out idea afterwards. And then I would see how the adventure carried them and got more invested as we went because I want to see how their story unfolded in this new and unforgiving world. Let me give you an example. I decided to make a character who was just a nerdy wizard who had some strange connection to devils, right? I was into Harry Potter, specifically Hogwarts Legacy, that video game, and then I was also into Spider-Man 2 at the time. So I wanted to take the idea of like Venom with this sort of strange symbiote that's controlling this guy, and then also played like just a nerdy ass wizard, right? I mashed the two concepts together and I got my character Jacob, and I'll show art of him later. But yeah, Jacob was a cool little wacky little dude, but I wasn't necessarily super invested into him until more and more of the campaigns kind of got unfolded. The more I played him, the more I realized his personality, and I saw him having to try to adjust to this world with all the new people he's met, all the enemies and rivals that he made, and I built the character up beyond that point. And at a certain point, I remember he got to like 5 HP, nearly died, and I actually cared. I actually cared whether he lived or died compared to just and that's really weird considering I didn't really put any effort into the character originally, like at all. Very strange. And I think it was a new, different way of playing, making characters and just playing D&D, and I actually try to do that from now on. I try to give characters maybe basic ideas and then flesh them out a little bit later and then get invested into them later. So how does this relate to the Nemesis system? How does this relate to this little State Decay idea? Well, the idea is essentially my players, or the players playing in this system or this campaign, would basically be random goblins. They would roll completely random, well, not necessarily like random stats. Maybe they'll roll random stats. I don't know. We're going to figure it out later. But they would roll up completely randomized characters, and the only thing they have in common is that they're vampires and they're goblins, right? Oh, DJ's popping off. Turn this down a little bit. But yeah, they'd be completely random goblin vampires and stuff. And their idea is that they're basically trying to, well, infect the rest of the world and turn them into vampires and stuff. Similar to like some Cult of the Lamb stuff, or similar to V Rising, right? And as these goblins would go out into the world, they would find different resources to kind of bolster up their own, well, base of operations that they'd make. They'd have to go get food, they'd have to get water, they'd have to get blood as a resource, because if they don't have blood, then they're gonna die, or they're gonna start killing one another. And they gotta get materials to build up their own base of operations, right? And they also need to go find and recruit more vampires into their fold. So you may see now where we're coming with, or going along with this. So the cool thing now, how does State of Decay play into this? So State of Decay, it's this very similar system to this. You play random characters, you go out into the world, and you level them up. You turn these random quirky little individuals into badass villains, or badass survivors. And in this case, we're going to make the players themselves turn these little goblins into badass villains for the other set of players. Now you may see the vision. So now we have the players who are running in the Phoenix district, the ones who are slaying all those rivals that I was talking about in that YouTube video. We have these group of players, and now we're gonna have another group of players who are playing the villains. They're rising little Boblin the Goblin up to be the next BBEG. Oh, hey, it's Mom. Hey, it's Mom. Hey, Mom, how's it going? Over on the YouTube channel, Mama Mayhem says, you had a chance to implement my character yet? Yes, I did implement your character. I'm implemented you and Crunch. Where is Crunch? Oh, he's right here. Hey, Crunch, you want to say hi to Mom? Or Grandma? G-Ma. Hey, buddy. I woke him up from his nap. He's gonna hate me. Hi, buddy. You want to say hi? Want to say hi to Mom? You're like, why the fuck did you wake me up, dog? All right. Oh, man. But yes, I did. Let me go see if I can find them. Your character is my D&D character's mom. You're actually, a lot of the players really like your character. They've been talking with them, all this other stuff. And if they if any of them piss your character off, or excuse me, any of your characters basically like make them upset or anything like that, then you basically like put a hex on them or something like that. All right, but yeah, that's basically what they've been doing. I'll see if I can find the art for them. They call them like Mama J, Mama Justinius. Mr. J, funny enough, Mr. J over on YouTube says, this character creation method sounds cool. Like, have a rough concept, develop the character or characters through the traumatic experience of adventuring. Exactly. Basically to focus on how a character reacts to stuff and not how on specific backstory events. Bam, you got it. Mr. J, you freaking got it. I'd give you a sub if you were on Twitch right now. Exactly. You explained this way better than I could have ever explained it. Perfect. Exactly what I'm going for. It's more so to show like your character's backstories don't really matter as much compared to what's going to happen in the game. And that's where a lot of the fun happens, because one of the things that I noticed and the reasons why I got so invested into Jacob is because I was super invested and engaged to see where this character was going to go next, despite them being just a loser at that. And they still are a loser, but you know, but it was awesome to see. And how we're using State of Decay is that the thing is that this world is unforgiving. Like, these goblins, they can get dropped at any point in time. They can get dropped. And that kind of brings in a lot of the stakes that makes you really, really care about the character, because death is a real, viable, real thing here. So, the other cool thing is that we're going to have the players not necessarily just play one single character. The players, this is where things get really interesting. The players are going to be playing multiple characters, not necessarily at the same time, but multiple characters throughout different sessions and adventures. So what I mean by this is, as the goblin vampires are going to be recruiting more and more individuals, they are going to, all these goblins are going to have different personalities, they're going to have different classes, yada yada yada. So you may choose to actually go send out your wizard to, you know, go investigate these ruins, because they may have just general arcane knowledge. Meanwhile, you might have the berserker character sit back and just kind of defend the base for a bit. But meanwhile, while that berserker character is there, this is where the Sims portion comes in, that berserker gets into a fight with one of the other vampire goblins, and they maybe end up killing one of them, and you now have to deal with the ramifications and consequences and effects of what's going on as you're kind of managing your Sims or your vampires in a cool and wackadoodle way. I'm super excited for this idea. I want to run this as a little mini campaign, nothing super long, but like I'm thinking like a 1 month little series. I think this would be dope. So you guys are going to be helping me make that today. That's what we're doing. My mom said, you don't have to change the way you are. Keep being you. I know you curse like a sailor. Where do you think you get it from? Okay, honestly, I got it from my cousin G, but I'm not gonna say that. And I also, I did stop cursing. I try not to curse in front of you or any of our family members, but I only started doing it again when I got to wrestling, and wrestling practice, everybody was really upset and angry at Coach. So, yeah. We were just really angry at practice, so yeah, that's where a lot of this came from. I'm gonna be real. I'm sorry. Can we have Pipsqueak join as like a playing both sides character? That'd be hilarious. Maybe not Pipsqueak, but probably Glub, because he's actually a vampire and he's actually a spy right now. But Del, I actually didn't see your comment earlier over on YouTube. Do you allow evil PCs in the project? Yes, you can be an evil alignment. My character Jacob was actually an evil alignment, but you still have to be an adventurer. You can't be like, don't be a dick. Don't try to kill people. Don't be a human being. Like, we're here to play the game and all have fun, but you can 100% have a evil character or evil aligned character. There's nothing wrong with it, but just keep in mind, if you don't have much experience playing an evil character, maybe hold off on them for like your first character in Project Aurora, and maybe make them your second character after you've gotten a general feeling and vibe on how things kind of work here. All right. All right, y'all, let's do this. Let's start making this system, because I'm gonna need all of your guys' help. Also, Mom, I'm famous. One of my videos popped up, or they're doing really good. Are you proud of me? All right, let's see. I'm gonna blind you guys for like 2 seconds. Hold on. Stream last night was good. You watched my stream? Wait, what? Mom, you watched my stream? Wait, you watched the video? Wait, what? Why didn't you say anything? That's awesome. Thank you. Maybe that's why Maple was saying that you got shadowed. Your character got shadowed. I'm trying to set up the thingy. Hold on. There we go. Fair noted. And I've tried, but I'm a forever DM. That's fair, Del. That's fair. Mom says, because why should I say anything? I'm just checking it out. It was funny. Thank you. Oh man, that's awesome. Best mom. Everybody give a shout out to Mama Mayhem, everybody. Best mom on the planet. Everybody give a shout out to them. All right. What's Crunch doing? Oh, he got his toy. All right. Let's do this. Old Cobalt says, I'd love to join the Discord, but I'm a bit busy as DM. Should I only apply if I'm planning on being a dedicated player? No. What you should do is you should just apply and just say, hey, I want to be a community member for right now. And then you can actually apply later. We have a way to apply when you're already in the Discord server. And then, yeah, that's it. You can just hang out, talk to me. I'm in the chat literally all the time. I was in the chat like 10 minutes or 30 minutes ago before stream started. And you're good. All right. We're gonna call this State of Decay 2 plus Sims meets D&D. And Mom, if you have, okay, so if you guys don't know, my mom is a little bit of a Sims addict. It's bad. Yeah, I'm exposing you, Mom. I'm exposing you. Don't try to deny that you're not. You're an addict, but Mom, if you have, I've never played The Sims before. You and Ashley always have. If you have any ideas for how it's, or what would be funny ways, or like your favorite things about this, hold on. If you have, if you could, maybe post some of your favorite things about The Sims specifically, and I'll see, like, why do you like this playing The Sims? Besides the mods and all that other stuff, sure. But like, what aspect of The Sims do you enjoy the most? And maybe I can figure out a way to implement it into this system that I'm making here. Change font color to white for contrast. I can do that. Let's see. Actually, yeah. Actually, here. You know what? You're smart. Let's do it this way. Let's go full black. Okay, maybe not that far black. There we go. Okay. D&D system. All right. We'll give this a fancy little title. I don't know. Sure. Whatever. Okay. Let's figure this out. So what is the my mom with the most unhinged comment. I'm a vintage simmer. I'm a control freak, so I like manipulating people's lives. Hey man, she said it, not me, dog. She said it. I didn't say nothing. So controlling people's lives, basically being able to see or show. Actually, okay. So I'm thinking about this. So actually, I wasn't necessarily intending to give that much freedom and control within this system because State of Decay 2 typically doesn't. But that's actually really interesting. I think there would be a way to be able to give players that agency to tell their survivors what they're doing or what to do while, you know, throughout that week where, you know, the DM isn't, or excuse me, the sessions aren't being ran. What I mean by this is, in The Sims, maybe you could, I don't know how this works, I'm just assuming, right? Maybe you could have it where you tell one of your characters to go out and go hunt for supplies, right? Go hunt for supplies, and they may go do it, and it may something cool could happen. They may end up bringing in a couple of new fresh new faces, or it could be a case of they may end up getting killed out on the job. This is actually a cool thing that happens in State of Decay 2. No, State of Decay 1, but I don't think it happens too much in State of Decay 2. So yeah, I'm 100% down to implement something like that. Just ways to control your allies when you're not playing the game itself. I think they're encountered by aliens. Yo, what? Yeah, a bunch of mind flayers just start showing up. That'd be insane. All right, notes for later. Okay, so what's the goal for this system? What's the point? Why are we doing this? Goal for a system. I'm gonna scroll up because I think it was Mr. J. Yeah, Mr. J, you said it best. Ultimately, or the meta goal for this system, show that characters are made important through the events that happen in their campaign, not their backstory. I'm gonna change the font for this. I don't know what font I used. I have no idea. I literally just blanked out. All right, let's do this. How about that? Through the events that happen in their campaign, not their backstory. Test or allow players to grow out of get out of their comfort zone and be more willing to let things happen to their PCs for the sake of narrative, sake of collaborative storytelling. I'm gonna explain these concepts in just a minute. Mini goal: the community is more important than yourself. That's actually interesting. The community is show that the community or table is more important than just one individual. Get people to work together. I can put this. All right, that's basically. Oh, and then last thing, make survival D&D games easier to run. That's the goal for this system. We have 4 major goals. 1, we want to damn, JP's theme came in very, very hot. All right. So one, we want to show characters are made important through the events that happen in their campaign or in the campaign, not their backstory. So I already talked about that, but let's go to the next thing. Allow players to get out of their comfort zone and be more willing to let things happen to their PCs for the sake of collaborative storytelling. Let me give you an example for this. I am a firm believer that the dice, well, this may sound unrelated, but I'll try to bring it together. I always say the dice are better storytellers than any dungeon master ever could be, almost like 90% of the time. This is why I don't fudge any dice, or I try not to fudge any dice that are, how you say, helping necessarily the players or anything like that. The only times I really fudge dice is specifically to make, make the combat basically go by faster, and just end it faster because enjoyment is kind of slipping, right? That's the only real time I actually fudge numbers and fudge dice. And it's, yeah. But I say this because, there have been multiple times where my character, especially Rune, for those of you who play in Project Aurora, you know this character pretty well. My character Rune has nearly died, I think, like 2 or 3 times at this point. Rune is essentially a Leonin barbarian, and they reckless attack almost every single time, and that gets them caught into multiple different scenarios. This is Rune. Shout out to Lunu for being able to draw this art, splash art poster for them, right? And the reason, a lot of times, a lot of players, they get very, very spooked. They get scared when they see Rune drop or go down, or they get really, really spooked when they think it's getting ready to be a TPK, and they're thinking about retreating, they're thinking about running. Some people even blame the DM and like whether the encounter is balanced and all this other stuff. And honestly, I used to be the exact same way. But the thing is that I eventually just let the dice kind of tell the story, and I just let things happen as they happen. The reason why is because it made for more authentic stories. When the DM doesn't necessarily fudge the dice, when the DM doesn't just lets it play as it lies. Because what happens is that whenever we get to these scenarios, people start really thinking outside of the box from typical D&D mechanics. They try to implement more rule of cool stuff. They try to they try to work together in ways that they typically wouldn't. Characters that are typically rivals start acting as allies because now they have to if they want to be able to accomplish their goal. The narrative evolves. The narrative is emergent, and it becomes more collaborative more than ever. And the reason why I'm saying this is that, sure, when my character Rune, I'll pull up the picture of him again. When my character Rune nearly died, whether I did it or not, it's not necessarily the point. Yeah, we'll read that in a second. When my character Rune nearly died, Ed could have fudged the dice. They could have just simply just say, oh yeah, the enemy doesn't attack you anymore, they just walk away, or the enemy just starts attacking the other high health individuals rather than the low individual PC. He could have absolutely did that, but the fact that he didn't, and he just kept following whatever the dice were going with, and however the enemies and their personality sort of reacted, it got everybody more invested and engaged. And eventually, when the other fellow players rose Rune back from the near dead, when he was already about to fail 2 death saves, then he got back up, looked at the enemy directly in the eye, thanked the players, thanked the other characters, and he saw Rune, because he has the sentinel feat, he saw the enemy getting ready to attack his brother, Otheo, played by Sol. The enemy tries to slash towards them. Rune sees it and doesn't want that to happen. He wants to pay back the favor. He uses the sentinel feat, and as soon as that enemy tries to strike him, he takes his greatsword and just slashes the enemy's head off. Nat 20. There's no fudging the dice. We rolled all in the open, and it was legendary. That bit of development, or that bit of storytelling, you can't necessarily fudge. You can try to fudge the dice, but it's something different about making it more authentic, making it more realistic, or making it more, how you say, it just felt more real because you could see the dice and no one necessarily like held back or pulled punches, you know? And I was okay with whether, or I didn't really care about Rune dying or whether he lived or not, because the cool thing is, if he died, you know what would have happened? It would have been a great storytelling, arc for Otheo and also his other brother, Thorok. Not Thorok Johnson, but his name is Thorok T. Never mind. But yeah, it would have been a great storytelling perspective as now these individuals, do they want to go and honor their brother? Do they want to throw a memorial for them? Do they want to go to the depths of hell to try to raise Rune back from the underworld and try to bring him back to maybe be undead or a zombie or bring him back to be alive? Did they want to hunt down this monster to the ends of the earth to get vengeance? What happens next? That type of emergent storytelling, that type of things, those type of scenarios I want to sort of present more in D&D, and I don't want to necessarily like force them onto one another. That's not what we're trying to do. It's more so I want more people to be okay with just letting the narrative actually shape up and more so tell it collaboratively alongside the dice, alongside the DM, and not try to just force certain things to happen the way that you 100% imagined it to be. I don't know if that makes sense, but the last thing I'll say in this little rant or tangent is that we literally play a game with dice. Look, hold on 1 second, y'all. 1 second. We literally play a game with a dice, random chance. We want the events of the session to be random to an extent. Why are we trying to run away from like craziness and absurdity happening in the game? That's the dice make the story, y'all. The dice make the story. Let them tell the story that they want to tell, and let's adapt with it. It's all about improv. It's collaborative improv. It's collaborative storytelling. The dice are some of the narrators too. And that's the type of gameplay style that I want to help instill in some of the players. And it starts with their investment into their characters. That's where it's going to start. Old Cobalt said on YouTube, exactly, I 100% agree. If my character can't die, I kind of lose investment. And I think State of Decay does this best. I'll talk about it a little bit more, but State of Decay makes it really, really cool because in video games, typically, you know, when you die, you just come back, you revive. But in State of Decay 2, when they die, they are dead. There's no coming back. They're gone. And that type of thing makes it where it's like, you really, really get invested because you want to make sure that they live and see another day. And when they finally do get those successes and they look back at all the stuff that they did, it really means just a bit more. And that little bit, that's what we're looking for. That's what we're looking for. All right, y'all. Let me catch up on chat and then let's continue with the system. All right, I'll play this. All right, let's see. Mr. J said, so a horror-themed-ish game with the DM having a goal of appropriately traumatizing the PC's character development. Hopefully not the players. So here's the thing. So this is where things get really, really interesting. Overcoming the problematic situation encounters where the odds feel stacked against you feels fun. Yeah. So here's the thing. One thing that a lot of people get messed up or they get really, really scared of, and for obvious and good reason, is that they fear that now it's going to become more of a player versus DM mentality, when in fact it is absolutely not that. And I'll explain in a minute. But people have maybe had horrible experiences with DMs where now, you know, the DM has, I don't know why, they go on a power trip and they like pride themselves on killing players or characters in this case, and they make a show out of it. Like I remember hearing like a DM, it was more so they said it in a more of a toxic way. I remember hearing about a DM who, whenever they killed characters, they would literally take the character sheet from the player and then put it up on a wall and then pride themselves on how many characters that they killed because their sessions are super tough and cool and fantastic. And they were saying this in a more toxic way. And I understand why players are scared of those DMs. We're not trying to do that. We're trying to do the exact opposite. We don't want players to rally together to fight against the DM. We want players to rally together to fight the world. Because the world is uncaring. The world doesn't care whether you're a wizard or a barbarian and whether you prepared or not. The world just is, and the DM narrates how the world reacts to you, the player. That's the type of gameplay that we're trying to make, and that's why I loved running the Phoenix District and the Rook District. And I don't like, I always just let the dice tell the story, and I never try to change anything. Doggo Inspo. Also, hey Viatrix, welcome over on Twitch. Appreciate you for stopping on by. All right, so let's get to it. Let's go back. Now that we know what we're trying to do, now that we know where we're trying to go with this, let's finish up these last little things. We want to show that the community or the table is more important than just one individual. We want to get people to work together. I kind of already touched on that. And we also want to make survival D&D games easier to run. So one of the things that I remember was a big issue for, or at least this is kind of like my, I was kind of turned off from the idea of a survival-based campaign and well, not survival games in general, but survival-based D&D games, was that loot didn't make sense. A big thing about survival is that you have to craft, you have to build. That's how you survive, because we are humans. We craft, we build, we monkey man build stuff for to hurt other monkey men or whatever, right? So you make your base made by monkey men and cavemen better, right? That's what we do. We're humans. That's what we've always done. But the problem is when you have a crafting system where you have, okay, you need 8 nuts and bolts, you need 1 roll of toilet paper, you need 5 planks of wood, and then you can make the god weapon. That means as the DM, you have to figure out ways to implement all those necessary resources throughout the game. And that sounds like a headache and a half. So I didn't do that. Instead, what I did was I took the State of Decay system and I made a rucksack sort of thing. Material, or those nuts and bolts, those paper towels, those whatever, they're all considered materials. They're all just one umbrella term for that. Materials are used to build stuff, they're used to craft weapons, they're used to do whatever you want to do to just make cool things. And it simplified it tremendously. We also had it where players could find just food and water resources, and then we would just, track that as well. They weren't finding, like, let's say a piece of pie, they weren't finding a bag of chips, they were just finding food, the resource. Same thing with water, same thing with medicine, yada, yada, yada. So by implementing these mechanics, we're gonna make survival and resource gathering a lot easier. And when I ran Soulbound this exact same way, it got a lot more people invested in the exploration pillar of D&D because they really had a reason to go out and explore the world itself. So this should also help out the exploration pillar in a way. All right, but enough yapping. How are we doing this? So we got the goals. How we doing it? All right, how do we do it? I'm gonna need your help for this. I can't spell. All right. So one, we need to figure out the major gameplay mechanics is that one, random characters. We need to make a way or figure out how to make randomly generated characters. We need to actually take a little bit of control from the players so we can grant them even more control in the future when it really matters most. As far as crafting weapons and such, could it be Mad Max style with janky weapons, vehicles, etc.? I mean, by all means. I don't think we're going. I think that might be a little bit out of the scope. We'll see if we get to it. I'll put it as an optional thing. I never, even when running Soulbound, came up with like a super specific crafting system where you needed XYZ thing to make this specific item. I never really did that. What I did was just, hey, a player needed to have like smith tools or rune carving tools or something like that, and if they had it, then they could become a blacksmith. And when they were a blacksmith, they needed to just make a forge or something like that. And once they made a forge, they could make pretty much any sort of common item that they needed or wanted, utilizing some materials, right? So like if they needed to make any type of weapon, whether it's a dagger, a maul, or a longsword, they could make it just expending like 3 materials, right? Something like that. Now, if they wanted to make it cooler and they wanted to make it more enhanced, then, I mean, as a DM, I would just play it by ear, just be like, okay, what do you want to do? Oh, you want to give it an extra D8? Well, that's pretty powerful, sir. So it's going to take like 12 materials to do that, right? But it also gives people a reason to go out and adventure because they want to go get those resources to be able to make that weapon that's cool for them, right? Another mechanic I've run across recently is carving, like gathering crafting components a la Monster Hunter. Could get a little clunky if players are hacking off pieces of every critter they run across, but it does open up a lot of options for making unique gear. This is true. We have a similar system kind of like that in Aurora. Kinda. Actually, no, we have exactly like a system like that. DMs basically just decide to give out monster components for certain creatures. All right. So we need randomly generated characters though. They need to level up. They need distinct personalities. I don't know whether they'll have randomized stats. Do they have random stats? I don't know. Let's put a question mark. We also need a community of survivors. Community of survivors. Their goal is to, I guess in this case, their goal is to get as many numbers as possible and take over the world. Because in this case, the survivors are evil, right? We're gonna make it more nuanced answer. Context. The players are goblin vampires. And they're working for King Leonios. For Vampire Lord King Leonios. The goblins need to establish forts, base of operations, base of operations. But more importantly, they need to turn as many people as possible into vampires. Into vampires for the king. Alright, so that's what they're doing. Beyond that, the community of the survivors, the community needs to have events that happen throughout or in between sessions. The focus is not on the individual character, but the community as a whole. Where is it? Are some daywalkers? So the cool thing about the vampires in the Phoenix district, this is what makes them special, is yeah, they can actually just walk out in the day, like in pure sunlight, and they're fine. They don't prefer it, but they can, and they don't have any debuffs or weaknesses to it. Some don't. Some do though. All right, what else do we need? So we need randomly generated characters. We need a community of survivors. We need these random. Oh wait, we already said they level up. Okay, what else do we need? We need a goal and objective for them. How do I put this? So we have the goal right here, but what I mean by it is like what they're actually going to do in the 1 month campaign. What's the goal here? The goal. The goal of the. You know what? I just thought about something. This is actually a cool or potentially cool system because if I make this modular enough, this could be like a little mini campaign series that anybody could possibly run. Let me explain. This might get a little wackadoodle, and you might only take one of the mechanics and not the other survivor mechanics, but imagine this. Hypothetically, let's say you're running a campaign, and I don't know, you are a bunch of, the main campaign is, we're going to do the most generic adventure possible. You're a bunch of adventurers, you met in a tavern, and your job is to go save the princess from evil king. Sure, cool. That's what the main campaign's about. But you have a second campaign, And this campaign is maybe played maybe when your session is canceled, or maybe you just want to take a break from your original one, whatever. And you need to flesh out some villains and be able to hype some things up later on down the line. So you play this. You play maybe the enemy faction. Now, whether that faction is just a bunch of random goons, so they could just be random humans and elves and all this other stuff, or they could be like how I'm doing it, where they're just a bunch of goblins, because that's the main antagonist of my game. Or you can make them, if you want to make them alien in species, so maybe your main antagonist is a bunch of shadow monsters, whatever. You can have them play shadow monsters instead. But the point is that these individuals are trying to rise in the ranks of their current faction, and, you know, furthen the the main leader's goals and agendas for them. I think this could possibly be something that can be implemented in anybody's game if we do it right. It's really cool. It's actually really dope. I think that's going to be the main mechanic. I kind of want to lean onto that side, and then the community building, and maybe sort of shy away from a little bit of the survival resource thing. I'll kind of have that be just an extra additional thing, similar to how like the roguelite and Hades mechanics, like the godly boons and stuff like that. That was more of the side mechanic of the Phoenix District compared to the Nemesis system or the Rising Rival system. Let's do that. So, random generated characters. We need a community of survivors. They interact with one another in between sessions. They level up, and then these individuals. So they have a goal that can be completed. How do I put this? Within the set amount of time that you set as the DM. I'll figure out a way to word this a little bit better. So what I mean by this is, like, if you're gonna run a campaign that's only for a month, the player should be able to realistically accomplish that goal or fail that goal at the end of the month. So if their goal is so beyond just, okay, we want to get as many numbers as possible, we could have the goal just be, hey, you need to recruit 50 vampires by the end of the month. That could be an easy goal to do. It could be a case of, we need you all to make a base of operations by the end of the month. Cool. Or, in like, more so to apply to your own games, we need to steal this relic from the kingdom's facility, but you need the people to be able to do it. You need strong individuals to do it and not get killed in the process, right? There should be a set goal by the DM and the players that realistically they can accomplish within that small time frame, whether it's within like 2 weeks of play, a month of play, or a year of play. There is a time frame with a set goal. The players are striving to do or accomplish that goal before the meta time is reached. I don't know how to explain this in a way. I might have to fucking chat GPT this. I'm not gonna lie. Before the meta time is reached. Okay. So beyond that, if we have these major gameplay mechanics, does this work? I think so. I think that's all we really need. Okay, so one thing that we also need to mention is we need to implement West March's mechanics. You'll see why in a minute. West March's questing style. West March's, yeah, questing style. So every session is pretty much a different adventure to to further the goal, to get closer to completing the goal. However, it may star a different cast of characters each time, depending on who the players decide to bring. We also need to do this. We need community survivors. The players can swap between survivors frequently. Like taking control of an area with valuable resources. Exactly, right? Exactly. Man. Party composition and strategizing is key. Questing and party composition. Questing style and party composition. All right, cool. And with that, I think we got it. Okay, so we know what we need to do. Now let's break it down into a couple of other smaller systems or more detailed systems. So let's start with the randomly generated character idea. So I don't know exactly how to do this. Let me show you. Hold on. Let me go to Foundry real quick. In the meantime, while I have that loading up. I think face is only this one. Okay, so let's do randomization. Or where's this chapter? Randomly generated characters. Make this a little bit bigger. Need to level up. They need distinct personalities and flaws. And yeah, okay. So in the Phoenix district, I have several types of monsters or several types of enemies that you can be, or that you can, you can face off against. We have a typical warrior stat block. They're your regular guys, right? Types of enemies you can be. We have a warrior, we have a berserker, we have a mage, we have a gunner, we have a druid, we have an assassin, and we're missing one other person. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Who is we missing? And then an archer, right? These are the typical 7 types of enemies that you can have. We also, and these are just for the goblins themselves, but there are also other types of enemies within the Phoenix district. So, granted, we could make it where they play NPC stat blocks, but I don't think that's necessarily going to be as fun. And it won't, if we do it as NPCs, that means they won't be able to try out new cool builds, right? So instead, we're gonna make it classes. I think that makes the most sense, right? Right. Let me know in chat what you think, whether we should go with, or if we actually should go with NPC stat blocks instead. What we could do, here's an idea. I don't necessarily like it. I don't. An idea could be like you start off at level 0 as an NPC stat block, and then once you level up, then you get an actual class. This is gonna be like pure, like low level D&D. Like this is not gonna be high level D&D at all. But we're gonna make it where they level up fast, on purpose. Because realistically, they only have so much time to play the game. So I imagine these guys are going to be leveling up like multiple times. Hell, they may even level up multiple times in a session. So I'm thinking... let's close out of that. Let's do classes you can be. Let's list out all the Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition classes. And we're going to add a couple more as well. Based off of the rules in PA. Where's classes? Here we go. Okay, so here's what we got. We got Barbarian, Bard, Cleric. I'm gonna need your help in case I forget anybody. So we have Barbarian, we have Bard, we have Cleric, we have Druid, we have Fighter, we have Monk, we have Paladin, we have Warlock, we have Wizard, we have Artificer. Let's put that right up here. We're gonna add the Blood Hunter as well, because I think that would be interesting. Got Blood Hunter, and we got a new Gunslinger class. This sounds interesting enough. We'll make a fighter. We're A B C D E F G. So we're gonna make a gunslinger. Sure. Sorcerer. Oh, what the hell? I fucking forgot sorcerer. I forgot my favorite class. What the heck? I freaking forgot my favorite class. What the hell? Oh, I wasn't looking. I also forgot rogue and ranger. Oh my god, I did horrible. All right, ranger, rogue, and sorcerer. There we go. So that should be everybody. Artificer, barbarian, bard, bloodhunter, cleric, druid, fighter, gunslinger, monk, paladin, ranger, rogue, sorcerer, warlock, wizard. That's everybody, right? Am I missing any other things? Am I crazy, chat? I don't think I missed anything else. That should be it. Yeah. And I mean, I guess you could be an Illrigger if you want to use that class. That's the Matt Colville Hell Knight class. I guess I can include it. Sure, why not? A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I. G, H, I, so Illrigger. Sure. My man is sorcerer pilled. Let's go. Look, I'm telling you, I had this whole argument with everybody. Look, the reason why I like sorcerer is because I like anime, and you can't tell me. Look, everybody wants to say that. We're gonna go on a quick little rant tangent for a second. Everybody says that monk is the anime class, and sure, to an extent, if you're basic, but you're wrong. It's not monk. It's sorcerer, 100% through and through. Hear me out, y'all. Hear me out. If I tell you that my character is an individual who has some sort of unknown power that they're struggling to control because there's something in their lineage gave it to them, or something within their body is just kind of strange that they're having trouble controlling it, but the whole character arc of this the whole story arc of this character is that throughout their game, as they gain levels, they're going to figure out more and more ways to not only control the thing inside them, but also be able to manipulate it in ways that no one ever thought possible. If you tell me that's not an anime character, that's literally Naruto. That's literally Naruto. That's Black Clover. That's freaking Demon Slayer. That is literally them. I could think of like 8 different animes that is just that character concept. And you know what class concept that is? That's sorcerer. Even in the D&D movie, where we had a wild magic sorcerer, the whole character arc was him figuring out how to control this magic from a lineage of individuals who also were able to control that magic. Sorcerers are anime characters. It's not monk. And you can't tell me anything about it. No, I refuse to believe it. I refuse. But yeah, sorcerer is my favorite class because I like meta magic. It's dope. Wizard is cool, and I do actually appreciate Wizard. At first, I didn't like Wizard because I thought they were boring, but I did play a Wizard, and I do see the appeal of it, of like actually hunting down spells and all that cool stuff. I do see the appeal, but I just think Sorcerer is just dope. One, you just get to be a charisma caster, and you get to use meta magic, and really like you get another resource to manage, and I just love that. I like difficult stuff. I do. All right, but yeah, rant over. Maybe that'll be a TikTok clip that'll go viral. All right, okay, so classes you can be. So we're actually gonna make this a rollable table. Let's just do this. So you gotta roll a D16. That's insane. There's freaking. Okay, so what if we remove Gunsling and Illrigger? How many does that leave? Okay, what about Bloodhunter? Damn, what about Artificer? Okay, so if we remove all the extra classes, we could make it just a simple D12 roll. But I really like those other classes. But I think we're not going to include them. I think we're not going to include them just to make it more modular. I really hate it, but I want my Bloodhunter. Bloodhunter's my favorite. Bloodhunter's my favorite martial class. I love Bloodhunter. I really want to include them. Chat, should we include them? Should we include them? Because like a D12 is just so nice, and that means that the D12 gets more love. Or should we just expand it to 16 options? What do y'all think? Shame we don't have as many subclasses. I think it could use a martial subclass. Oh boy. Oh god. Cobalt, you're gonna love me. So what if I told you in Project Aurora, I actually said the same thing and I made a martial class first, or a martial subclass for Sorcerer. I made the equivalent of Bloodsinger, or Bladesinger, and I made it based off of Devil May Cry. Insert the Infernal Heritage Sorcerer, and my character, Jacob. Jacob, remember how or if you were here earlier, I told you how he had like a sort of devil infused into him? Well, that devil was basically the sin, was representing the sin of wrath. And as he grew more and more confident, he gained more and more martial abilities as well. And he channeled that devilish energy inside to maybe pop his devil trigger, if you will. I'm trying to find art of him. Leonios? Altosh? Okay. This is what he looked like in game. Shout out to Lunar for also making this art. It is sick as hell. So if you notice, if anybody has any anime fans in here, he does ride on top of his weapon like Asta from Black Clover, or also Benimaru from Fire Force. So yeah, this is Jacob. There's also a bunch of other Infernal Heritage sorcerers, but this is just my character. That art though, holy shit, yeah! Fucking Luna's a G! Luna's insane. Oh my god, there's so many different art pieces here. Look at Ping. This is the player Jade. He plays this character. They are a Mercy monk, as you can tell by the mask here. This is probably my favorite art from Lunar. This shit is actually ridiculous. Like, this is absurd. Like, this shit right here. Oh my god. Dudes pop it off. But yeah, that's Lunar. Anyways, I got distracted again. All right, back to this. Okay, so I think there should also, so if we're rolling class, I think there should be a chance that you could also roll a different race besides Goblin. I think it should be a very, very rare chance it happens, but I think there should be a chance. Race you can be. I think 90% of the time, we're going to say actually 75% of the time, you are a Goblin. So 1 through 75, you're a Goblin. We're going to say 75 to 80, maybe you're a Hobgoblin. Goblin, or maybe an Orc, I don't know. We're gonna say 85 to 90. Actually, we're gonna say 75 to 85, so you have like a 10% chance of being a Hobgoblin or an Orc. I think it's pretty good odds. 90 to 9 or 100. No, we're gonna do like 75 to 90, you're a Hobgoblin or Orc. And then 91 to 100, so you got like a 9% chance or 10% chance. You are a, here, let's, this might seem too much, but we'll do 90 to 95. You're a, okay, so this may sound weird. Actually, you know what? You're an ogre. Fuck it. You're an ogre. You get to be large sized. 1% for halfling painted green. Let's get some wackadoodle stuff in here. Yeah. Okay, 90 to 95, you're an ogre. Let's do 96. Let's get some crazy stuff in here. You're a gnoll. That'd be ridiculous. Hold on. I like the 100. You're a halfling painted green. I love that idea. That's hilarious. Halfling painted green. 96. What should be 96? Should it be a null? I don't know if it makes sense necessarily. Based off of my lore, that's all. That's all. Just based off of my lore. 96, sure. You can be a, let's say 96 to 97. You're a Aarakocra. 98. You're a I don't even know. I need some more ridiculous ideas, guys. Help me out. Help me out, chat. We need one for 98 and one for 99. Or one for 98 through 99 or something like that. Troll sounds like a vibe. I mean, I kind of get that same energy from ogre. You're an ogre or a troll. Oh, actually, this is perfect. We do have a trollkin race in Aurora, so yeah, we can do that. Bugbears, long limbs. I was thinking about bugbear. I was thinking about it. But I was also kind of thinking this would maybe fall in the realm of you're a hobgoblin or an orc. You're a Nothic? What the heck? What? Let's Let's figure out some crazy race. Let's look at the races in D&D. Species. I love hobgoblins. They're so dope. They're from a warrior race. They're proud and unflinching. To me, they give sane energy. True. Oh, I got an idea. You're a rat. You're a rat folk. You're a freaking rat. I love it. Oh, man. There you go. I'm sold. You're a rat. All right, cool. I'm not changing this. It is official. Ooh, don't... Whoa. Wait, what the... What the heck? What's going on? It's not working here. Ah, whatever, it's fine. Alright, cool. So we're gonna mark this as a D100. This is a D12. Okay. And you need to level up. Okay, so how do you level up in this system? Wait, whoops. I mean, you could obviously do the simple thing of like simplicity or simple options. Use milestone. Use XP. Those are easy, simple options that you can do, right? Cool. Another way that you could level up is every quest or resource run your character goes on, they level up. Because we want them to level up fast. Like, I want them players to be able to test out builds really quickly, but also because there's going to be so many characters that they're playing left and right. It's just they gotta just churn through these guys and play them, or more so they gotta churn through their progression very fast, because you don't want to keep playing level 1 individuals over and over again and not get to the fun and cool stuff that makes the class, right? So what other ways could they level up, right? Ooh, this is an idea. Shadow of War does this. Well, it would be a little bit gamey and it wouldn't make much sense, but maybe it could and can kind of lean into the Sims vibe. Here's my idea. So in Shadow of War, you just gain a general resource for just doing stuff, from killing orcs to going out on quests, yada yada. You get a resource. And also in Shadow of War, you expend said resource to level up the orcs that you want. What if we made it where, just in general, the people that you play, they generate resources and all that sort of stuff, right? And you as the player throughout the week, like during downtime or something like that, or in between sessions, you can level up your characters and give it to specific individuals. And we can flavor it in my games where like people are drinking from the King's Chalice to get a little bit more blood magic or something like that, to infuse themselves to become even like stronger. And that's how we justify them leveling up. So it's not them leveling up off of experience, it's them leveling up based off of who gets to drink from the King's Chalice. And if you don't let everybody drink from the chalice, then some goblins are going to get resentful. Other goblins may try to steal the chalice and try to level up anyways without your blessing. A whole bunch of other stuff. It could work. It could be cool. The main downside of that, though, is it would feel less like you could, in theory, just wait until you get a very good build. So, like, you may get a Trollkin Barbarian, which could be a very good build, and then you just pump all your resources into them, and you ignore all the other people. I don't know if that would work, though. What do you guys think? Finding a treasure or relic might be a way. That could be a way. Find a treasure. I'm writing this down. Level up. The idea sounds fire. Okay. So, find or a full Shadow of War method. Get resources for playing the game. level up your goblins. Pick and choose which goblins you level up. You level up. All right. Man. Let me write an addendum. However, it takes away from the idea of turning one random goblin into a badass. Which I think because of this, I think I'm kind of leaning away from it. You know, I'm leaning away from it because our design philosophy, or like one of our goals, is show that the characters are made important through the events that happen in their campaign and allow players to get out of their comfort zone, be more willing to let things happen to their PCs for the sake of narrative storytelling. There wouldn't be much storytelling with this here unless you as the DM decide to do it. I'll maybe, I don't know, I'll maybe keep it as an option, but I'm not, I like it, but I also don't like it. I don't know. Also, holy crap, I think I just gotten like 20 different notifications on YouTube. What's going on the YouTube video? It's at 5,200 views. It's at 5,200 views within a day. It's gonna beat the Wukong video. It's going to beat the Wukong. Look at it, y'all. 5.2K. It's right there. How many likes is it at? It's almost at 1K likes? I've never had that before. What the fuck? I haven't even had TikToks like that. What the hell? That's insane. That's insanity. Holy crap. Hell yeah. Shout out to you guys. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Let me not show my analytics. I don't know if there's any sensitive information here. Nah, it's not. Okay, cool. That's awesome. That's awesome. Hell yeah. All right, back to this. On YouTube, I'm gonna butcher your name, so tell me how to pronounce it correctly. I don't like pronouncing people's names wrong. Josue? Tell me how to pronounce it. I don't want to get your name wrong. But over on YouTube, they say it could be an alternate way to level up, or as a great event where it is a big thing in the world. Ooh, you're right. It could be an alternate way. So it's not the only way you level up. It's another way. I like that. You're cooking. Good stuff. Shout out to you. Additional level up method. Okay. So how do I want to do it? I want to level them up. Do I want to gamify it and make it like kind of XP-ish? Well, we can't make it where it's like you got to get so many XYZ kills and then you can level up. We can't do that. D&D has an innate XP system. I don't know. I genuinely don't know how to make them level up besides just saying milestone. But milestone seems so ambiguous for something like this. Doesn't it, or no? I don't know. So I'm going to be running this over the course of a month, right? I'm going to run this. So because it's a month, what happens? God, I don't know. So I imagine, man, this is so irritating. There's an old level up method based on gold spent. Okay. That sounds so difficult to do, but maybe it could work because the players are doing it. I have an idea. So old Cobalt said there was no level up method based on gold spent. So my idea, I thought about this, that because they're player characters, what you could do is you could give them gold or insert resource here, but instead of making that resource like universal for all the goblins to be able to, or for you to use across all the goblins, maybe you make it where it's specific to said goblin. So like, Jimmy, the barbarian, he went out, he's done some adventures, and he's accumulated 200 gold. Once he's reached, you know, the gold threshold, he can spend that gold to level up or, you know, get himself a weapon or whatever, right? But Ashley, the wizard, cannot use Jimmy, the barbarian's gold, right? They can't use it. They haven't earned it, right? So maybe we could do it that way, but the problem is now, okay, so now players are going to have to track that resource their own, which I realistically think they would. And I don't think players are going to have more than six players or characters at the same time. Realistically, I'm thinking they would each have like 4 at most. I'm thinking like 4 at most. I don't think they'll have more than that, really. You know what? I think we say screw it and let's just try it. I say let's just try it. Let's try. And then what we could do is we can make it where you spend gold to basically build or buy items for that person to make them even stronger, similar to Shadow of War. All right, so here's what we're gonna do. Here's how I'm doing it. You get gold every encounter your goblin takes or partakes in. You spend gold to level them up accordingly. Oh, that's actually dope. I have an idea. So what you could do is you could spend gold to level them up, and then you could spend extra gold to actually try to multi-class with them. But you can't multi-class. You can't choose the multi-class. You have to roll randomly again. It wouldn't be too much more gold, but I think that'd be dope. You can spend more gold to have them multi-class and roll for a random thing. And then what we could do is Gobos can also spend gold to upgrade weapons to like +1s. Armor. Oh my god, I just figured it out. Chat, I just had a brain blast. Okay, so you spend gold to be able to upgrade your weapons and stuff, and because remember, we're making enemies here. So whenever you actually play on the other side, where we go back to the main campaign, players fighting these same goblins that you're making now, they're getting the magic items. That's your loot. The loot is what the goblins decided to upgrade themselves. We've done did it again, boys. We've done did it again. All right, armor +1s. +1s and other various magic items. Oh my god. Oh my god. All right, cool. These items will be the same items your other good aligned party will get when slaying these guys eventually. OMG, both sides trading loot by killing the other. I mean, yeah, that's some adventurous shit if I've ever seen it. Also, thank you, Alkiran, for the follow. Appreciate you. Welcome to the team. Why does this goblin have a staff of power? Well, you see. Oh, man. I love it. I love it, love it, love it. Okay, cool. I'm thinking instead of just... Maybe they craft it, maybe they use resources, but maybe they also just buy it. Like... I think because this is in your game, like if you want to do this long term, you probably wouldn't have them outright buy items. But in this system, or in my game specifically, because I'm only running this for a month, I'm going to let them just buy items. I'll just be like, hey, you get a very rare, or you get an uncommon item at this amount of gold. You get a very rare item at this amount of gold. You get a legendary item at this amount of gold. You can just straight up buy it. It's yours. You don't have to wait for it. You don't have to craft it. It's just yours. Boom. As maybe you're basically convincing your superiors to go secure this item for you. Goblins buy these items in my game specifically because there's not enough time for them to craft it, etc. I'm only running this for a month. Pocket Goblin. Ryan over on YouTube says, one of my favorite one-shot TTRPG campaign ideas is a band of goblins get a hold of a deck of many things. The GM rolls random off of it occasionally, and it builds the thread off of that. That's awesome. I love that. All right. Okay, the next question is there a limit to how far these guys level up? Probably not. I don't think so. I think if there is, we'll just implement it like as we go. We're gonna play it by ear, but I think we're good. So we got randomly generated characters, we got a level up method, we got a way for them to grow in strength. I think we're good. I don't think oh, we need their personalities, distinct personalities, big important, and we need to figure out their stats. Okay, so this is the thing that I've been struggling to figure out. That is their personalities. Well, the personalities, we can just generate a table. We can just have you guys pretty much say this, but what should we do about stats? Like, how do we get the stats here? Should we just have a table? Should we just have a generic stat array that players can kind of just put whatever numbers they want into wherever? Or like, what should we do with the stat arrays? What do? Chat, let me know. What we can do is we have one stat array, and players put numbers in accordingly. We completely randomize stats. We have several stat arrays to choose from. What else we got? It's pronounced Joe Swag. Gotcha. Okay. Oh, yeah, this is actually a lot easier than I thought. Sounds fun to have that one goblin that feels like John Wick. Oh, for sure. Ryan says over on YouTube, giving player agency to put points in bad places is important. Point buy is usually the middle ground. That's what I'm also thinking. But Chaos also brings up a good point on Twitch. If they have mostly great stats, then they have to have a terrible drawback. Like, this dude is the best damn wizard, but dude, he's got some sort of sickness and only 7 days left to live. Then it would force players to make more well-rounded characters. That is true. So, the flaws, this is tough because we're at a conundrum of like, yes, we do want players to get like, or have to really get out of their comfort zone, but we also want to make it fun because having a wizard who has 8 intelligence wouldn't be that fun, and you're stuck playing with them until you get another individual, right? That would suck ass. So what should we do? How do we balance the randomness with the fun factor? Man. How about traits like they gain a poison affinity or a cold affinity as they are resistant to one element and their weapons or spells do elements damage? That could happen for sure. Good stats could mean grindier start. Low level would go good equipment boost as possible. That could also work. Okay, so the world is going to be unforgiving. It's going to be very dangerous and more. I want players to enjoy the class that they're playing because they've already been forced to play it against their will. I think we should let them choose stats where they go to some degree. Now, how we want to do that, I'm not sure. Alkiran on Twitch says, the idea of stat spreads is forcing people to contend with where to put those low stats. You can do a merit flaw thing on top of that. Okay, so what we could do is... Okay, I got an idea then. I have an idea. Let's take the original Auroraverse special. Holy shit. I just saw some. There's 46 applications. Oh my god. Oh my god. I'm gonna get yelled at so much in chat. Holy shit. My team's actually gonna yell at me. Oh no. Oh man, Tim's also down. Oh hell yeah. Oh god, sorry, I got distracted. I just saw a lot of the I'm catching up to what's happening in 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 the Discord. Okay. Back to your regularly scheduled program. Okay, so we have a stat array for our characters that we let everybody use. I'm gonna see if I can find it. PB newbie guide, tutorial. Let's go to the player guide. Okay, here we go. All right, so we have 3 stat arrays. We're gonna mess with this. Okay, so we have the specialist, which has an inherent flaw, like a really bad flaw. You're not really good at 2 other stats, but you have like maybe 1 or 2 other things that you could be good at. All right. And granted, we still have to consider racial bonuses as well. So you could easily bump this up if you wanted to, right? We have well-rounded, which lets you choose what they're good at, but they still also have a flaw. So there's that. And then we have the Auroraverse special, which is kind of like the middle ground between things, where you have a pretty good stat, but you also have pretty middle of the road stats, and then you also have 2 kind of bad stats, right? So that's what we have here. Now the question is, the players are gonna be playing a lot of different individuals. If we go the specialist route, that means they're inherently gonna be good, like really good at the thing. Whether it's too good, I don't know. It might be good enough considering how difficult the world is, but it also might be too much. Auroraverse special, it seems like there is a flaw for the character, but it doesn't seem like it's too crazy of a flaw compared to the 7. So I'm thinking maybe we do like, we replace this 7 here. We keep that 13. Okay, so we keep the 16, right? We maybe turn this 12 into an 11 here. And I think that's good. Because if you would give, so with the racial bonuses, you'll get a +2 and you'll get a +1. So you could easily put the +2 into the 16 and you'll have an 18, which is pretty strong, but you still have something to work towards afterwards. And then if you put the +1 here, that means you get a 14, so you can probably put that in your constitution modifier or something like that. So I think that's pretty good, right? So I was thinking, so Kobold was saying maybe a super specialized, like 2 stats are crazy, but all the other dog water, like 7s and 6s, but 2 or 22s. We could do that, but I don't... Remember, we want them to be just random goblins. We don't want them to be gods from the beginning, right? We want them to sort of work their way up towards it, right? Oh, I have an idea. What if we make it where their stats are kind of dog water immediately, but then one of the things that you can buy with your gold is you can buy an ability score. So you can either choose to level up, or you could choose to like have a crazy ability score instead. I like that one. So let's actually reduce this again. Let's make this like a... I think 13 is probably good. I think that 15 is pretty good. Because at most you're going to have a 17. That's the highest you can possibly have. And then it won't be until level 4 where you could possibly get to 17 at... Or excuse me, 19 at best. And then if you're buying ability score improvements, then you could end up having that 20. I think 15 here is great. So you have a really bad stat. You also have something that you can kind of work with, but it's not the worst thing in the world. I think this is good. I think this is the stat array. So here's what we're gonna do. What I'm doing. Notes on this. Players have a very bad stat to help with flaws. Players with ability score or with racial bonuses or background bonuses, whatever addition you're using, will be able to get a 17 if they want. And then players can buy ability score increases with gold. Cool. Do it Night Rain style. Each level up level specific stats in a specific order per level depending on the class. I haven't played Night Rain, so I wouldn't know, but it sounds interesting. Just make sure I got it right. Josue says on YouTube, the Goblin Wizard buying proper education sounds funny to me. Oh man. All right. So now we got to figure out personalities. Okay, we got to figure out personalities, and we got to figure out flaws. So, and then yeah, flaws here. So one way I thought of is I'm hesitant about it, but it sounds a little bit fun. I'm hesitant. The idea is basically you get to, so you're going to be able to choose where you place your stats in already. Cool. But depending on where you put your stat in, that will determine which table of flaws you roll on. So if you put your dump stat of 7 into intelligence, you roll on the intelligence flaw table. If you put it in wisdom, you roll that. If you put it in strength, you put it on that. Whatever, right? But the problem that I think is going to come up is that people are going to put it in the de facto just worst stats in 5th edition. They're going to put it in strength because strength doesn't matter too much in 5e, or they're going to put it in intelligence, which doesn't really matter that much. You know, I'm kind of worried about that. No one's going to put a low stat in dex. No one's going to put a low stat in constitution, but I don't know. What do you guys think to be able to help out with this issue? Or should it just be a case of there's just a general broad flaw table, you roll on it, and then you gotta role play it, that's it? Man, I love the stat specific flaw tables. I really do. I think it's just a cool idea. And I'm not scared to have a low constitution. I think it's funny. I'm not scared to have a low dexterity. I've already played that. Jacob, he had 10 in dexterity. And my character Vitalia, she had a negative dex. I don't care, but I know other people will. Chaos says, depending on the character's role in the community, they might do lower stats in dex and stiff. Alkiran, low stat and dex you can get away with if they have some equipment to offset the AC penalty. I mean, true. But I think most people won't do that, though. I have an idea. This sounds terrible. I don't like it. I don't like this idea, but maybe play it a little bit by ear. And what we do is, so if players have a limit on how many characters that they can actually gain, so like let's say if it's 5, right, or 6 or something, right? Each character that you recruit has to have a different flaw stat. So, for example, if you have a character who already has a negative strength modifier, you can't give your next character a negative strength modifier as well. And let's say you have a guy with a negative strength and negative intelligence. The next character you get, it can't have a negative like either of those stats, right? Maybe that could work. I see the initial issue of like, oh, well, what if you playing a barbarian and there's no good stats to dump? Well, one, that's when you got to start getting creative, and maybe this guy isn't necessarily the greatest, but now you got to overcome those flaws, which works out perfectly. But I wonder if there would be a scenario where like there's literally no other stat but to dump strength, and which would really, really suck. So you got to play a barbarian, but you also have to have a 7 in strength. It's like, how the hell do you even do this, right? I wonder if that would ever come up. And I don't know if that would be great. I mean, realistically, in my game, it's never going to come up, so fuck it, I'm gonna do it anyways. No, let me read chat first. Old Cobalt on YouTube says, maybe each stat buy costs more or less depending on the inherent value. I know what you mean. So basically, Dex, Con, those would be higher things compared to, like, let's say, Charisma. Well, no, I wouldn't say that, because every class has a different inherent... Every stat, or every class has more value for a stat compared to another one. So I don't know if that would necessarily work. Dex, but I do see what you mean. Because Dex, Con, and Charisma, they may cost twice, but as a barbarian, I may not need, you know, Charisma at all. Or Dexterity and Constitution. I mean, hey, I'm just here for my strength, bro. Or maybe I'm playing an artificer and something like that. I don't need dex or con. I just need intelligence and maybe strength, right? Alkiran on Twitch says 3.5 did this a lot better by limiting how much dex could contribute if you had heavy armor. So dex could easily be dumped if you ran, say, full plate. Yeah. I think I'm gonna go with the idea that I mentioned. And I'll adjust it as we go. Because that's what I did with the rival system anyways. Okay. As a player, you must determine where your dump stat, this 7, goes. You, how do I put this? Once you've determined which stat gets the 7, you then roll on a table to see what your flaw is. There are 6 tables, since there are 6 stats. Each with a different unique flaw. Alright, cool. And that's how you do that. Okay, but what about personalities, though? How do we do personalities? Is this just going to be a... I think for personalities, it's just one broad table. I think it's just one broad table. I can't think of any other way to make a personality that makes sense. Like, sure, we could make it where... Oh, well, we do the opposite. Okay, so if your highest stat is in strength, then that's your personality. But that doesn't really make sense. I mean, there's a lot of people who make their personality the thing that they're good at, they're best at. But, like, I think we'd be missing out on a lot of stuff here. You know? Yeah, screw it. Let's just, let's make some personalities here. Come up with, random personality traits. Personality trait table. Roll for 2. I'm gonna just ask. I'm a bureau. I'm just gonna ask GPT. Make a personality trait table. Make a personality trait table for randomly generated D&D characters. Make it very simple. Make it short, snappy, and very easy to roleplay, but also very fun. I'm gonna say, I mean, I mean, it's fucking GPT. I could have it generate literally a D100, but that's horrible. Speaks in rhyme whenever excited. That sounds awful. Oh, hold on. I need a D10. I need more than a D10. Give me 100 options. Sure. Make it easy for a D100. Or make it a rollable D100 table. Don't make them too crazy because people actually have to roleplay this and make interesting characters out of them. Is that Lorenzo? It is. Ooh. Hello, Lorenzo. Over on YouTube, I think you could have a personality be a thing. Where you have the ones that are good and then 1 out of, say, D8 roll that is just like, hold on. I think you could have definitely have personality be a thing where you have ones that are good and then 1 out of 8 is that like, hey, you just are strength.exe. I think I see what you mean. Are you telling me you failed to see that I have these amazing riddles 3? That would be funny. Maybe their flaws limit what stats they can invest into. Like, say, lazy, they don't invest in dex or strength. The personality spreads. I probably wouldn't limit it mechanically, but I'll let the players choose that. That's going to probably be a thing. That's probably going to be a thing of like, hey, if it becomes a problem, then I'll solve it. But if it's not an issue, then I won't worry about it. All right. So let's see what we got here. We got always hungry, talks about food often, overly polite to everyone, even enemies. That's awesome. Prefer sleeping outdoors. All right. Yeah, it's nothing crazy. Skeptical of magic. That could be funny. Oh my god, imagine a wizard rolling this. That'd be great. Easily startled. Yep. Always confident even when clueless. Likes to whisper dramatically. Always volunteers first, regrets it later. Loves solving puzzles, even imaginary ones. Oh man, maybe you have like a character restriction on some personality traits. Explain it. What do you mean by that? All right, I like this. I'm thinking that roll for 2, optionally roll for 3. And so you can basically, so when you're done, you're gonna make a character who's gonna be like, they're gonna have 2 personality traits, maybe 3, and then they're gonna have 1 big old flaw. Like, can't have this if you don't have a 13 in charisma. I think it's funnier though. I don't think we should limit it. I think it'd be hilarious if this guy who has 7 charisma tells exaggerated stories. Maybe he's just really bad at telling stories. We've always met that one guy who you know is lying their ass off, and they think that everybody's believing. He thinks like they're believing, or like you guys believe him when no one believes him at all. Like, I think it would be funny. I think it'd be cool. I think it adds more character to it. Okay. I love this sort of traits table. We're gonna save this. Okay. We're gonna have to figure out the flaws thing. Okay, so I'm gonna need GPT as well for this because I'm not making all this shit. I'm gonna be real. All right. How do I explain this? So we have a stat array. Ooh. I know this isn't the stat array, but it's fine. Whenever someone puts their, or players have to put a 7 in one of those stats. To put a 7 in one of their stats. Depending on which stat they put it in, determines what flaw their character may, or what type of flaw their character may have. So can you make, oh gosh, this is so many. Can you make a D10 flaw table for each stat in 5e? All right, let's see what it comes up with. All right, in the meantime, hey everybody, if you guys are over on the YouTube side of things, if you didn't know, you can actually like the live stream. Liking the live stream actually brings the video and pretty much the channel to more and more people, and it helps me out just growing as a YouTuber as I get more feedback and we get more individuals in involved with everything. Shady, check your DMs. Got you. What up? That's we're gonna drop an announcement about it. But we know the deal, and it's not that they're not functional. It's the whole pew thing. But we're gonna drop a whole announcement about it soon. But for right now, you can just tell them that their estate is fine until we drop an announcement saying otherwise. All right. Okay, so where was the but yeah, be sure to like the video on YouTube. Be sure to like the even if you're on Twitch, just go like the video and live stream on YouTube and then just hop back over to Twitch. Like, share, and subscribe. Thanks, Mom. Thank you. Oh man, we're gonna stream for about like 10 more minutes. I'm getting tired and I want to get food. I haven't even eaten breakfast yet. It's 1:34. I need to eat. Anybody want to subscribe and donate so I can get some like Taco Bell or food or something? I'm kidding. Please don't do that. But I am hungry. Okay, so let's see what GPT was able to make. Oh, Verenzo. Yeah, that's my mom. Yeah, that's the Mama Mayhem, Verenzo. That's the Mama Suplex. Strength. So strength flaws. Okay, so struggles lifting even moderate loads. That seems boring. Quickly exhausted from physical tasks. Avoids tasks involving heavy tools and weapons. Easily pushed around physically. Frequently asks others to carry gear. unsteady drops items regularly. These are some weak sauce flaws. These are some weak sauce flaws. I need something crazier. I need something horrific. These flaws are weak sauce. Let's get crazier. Remember, players are only gonna have one flaw. Please don't do anything. Please don't make anything offensive. Make anything offensive or crazy. Or use sensitive topics. For the love of God. Like, don't give people like actual real life disabilities like that. Don't get too crazy. Don't have too much dip on your chip there, GPT. All right, let me know your closest Taco Bell. I will buy you food, then just give them my name. Go get food. Oh my goodness. No, it's okay. I'm only streaming for 5 minutes. I'm gonna go drive because I actually want to get out of the house anyways. So yeah. Let me check my phone. I do have to answer a lot of the messages on YouTube though. All right. So yeah, that's what we'll probably do. All right, let's finish this section, then we're gonna continue on later. Okay, strength and flaws. Ooh, can barely lift their weapon, dragged by it. Needs help climbing ladders, ropes, or fences. That's funny. That's funny. Constantly dropping heavy items loudly. Ooh, that's interesting. Complains loudly about armor or backpacks feeling heavy. Frequently winds up trapped under their own gear. That's hilarious. Tank Crunch with you? Nah. I try not to take him too many places anymore because he doesn't like sitting in the back seat. He'll literally jump up into the front seat while I'm driving. So I don't like taking him places anywhere. Or he'll try to like jump up into my lap and he doesn't realize that he's a big ass dog now. So, yeah. Yeah, I can't. He's not a tiny puppy anymore. Intelligence believes blatantly wrong myths and superstitions deeply. That's gonna be funny. I know people are gonna love that. Invents nonsensical theories confidently. Oh yeah, this is it. I like this flaw table. Yeah, he called shotgun, obviously. Leave this man alone. All right, I love this. Dexterity, constitution, intelligence, wisdom, and charisma. Yep, we good. Okay, so we have the flaw tables. Awesome. So now that we have this, let's go back to the thing. So randomly generated characters. We have randomly generated stats, or like we have something similar. We have distinct personalities and flaws, and we have ways that they can level up. Awesome. If I put the seatbelt on him, Mom, he's probably gonna try to bite the seatbelt and try to tear it up. I don't want to do that. And he's gonna be extremely uncomfortable to the point where I might as well just not even take him. I need one of those like little puppy seats. I think Alyssa was mentioning it before, like they were made specifically for Frenchies. They're little like boxes that you can put them in that keep them from moving around and stuff. But I feel like he would still try to jump out anyways. I don't know. Okay, so that said, we got the first part of the major gameplay mechanics down. Now, the next part that we need is we need a community of survivors. This is going to be the really, really fun part. The West March's questing style and party composition, this isn't going to take too many things as we already know how to do it. But the community of survivors is going to be very cool. This is when we're going to start talking about the Sims and stuff. So maybe if I get a bit of time on Monday, I will stream and we'll talk more about this later. If not, this may be a Wednesday thing because Mondays I typically try to stream DM prep. Alright. You can't leave your +1 at home all the time. That's your partner in crime. Dude, this dude wants to sleep. Look, he is sleeping right now. He's like ignoring me because he said loud man is talking to camera again. So. Alright, y'all. I'm tired. I'm hungry. I'm upset. I'm irritated. I want to get food. Thank you guys again so much for watching. Actually, let's play the outro music. Glide. Where is it? Bro, where is it? Rocket League. Okay, there we go. Perfect. All right, thank you guys again so much for watching. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. It's been an awesome stream. I had a blast running this stream for you guys. We got to meet so many new people, especially on the YouTube side. This is actually the first stream ever that we've actually had more YouTube viewers than Twitch viewers. It is ridiculous. So special shout out to you guys if you just joined on or just joined in from the YouTube train. You guys are awesome. I stream Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. I also stream Thursdays and Sundays. Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, we may occasionally stream the D&D Sensei show like this. Thursdays and Sundays, we actually stream D&D live. So for those of you who want to see that Rivals or Nemesis system in action, you're going to want to tune into Thursdays and Sundays. Thursdays at 8 p.m. EST, and then Sundays at 12:30 p.m. EST. Just join the Discord. You're going to see it, the announcement, or just follow the channel here on Twitch or subscribe on YouTube, and you're going to get notified when we go live. But it's gonna be awesome. I can't wait to see you guys, and enjoy the 4th if you're celebrating, and if not, enjoy your Friday, y'all. Peace. Oh, and you know what, how about this? I lied, we're not ending stream just yet. I'm gonna play the starting soon screen. For those of you guys who are newer to Project Aurora and you don't know what the heck it is, it's pretty sick, it's pretty hype, so enjoy this little short video, and I'll see you guys later. Bye!
Welcome to the world, no heroes and villains. Welcome to war, we've only begun. So pick up your weapon and face it. There's blood on the ground, go and take it. You get one shot to make it out alive. So higher and higher you're chasing. It's deep in your bones, go and take it. This is your moment, now is your time. So prove yourself and rise, rise. Make them remember you. Push through heaven. Rise, rise. They will remember you. Welcome to the climb up, reach for the summit. Visions brave, the one falls, steadily the end. So higher and higher you're chasing. It's deep in your blood, go and take it. This is your moment. Take to the skies, go. Prove yourself and rise, rise. Make them remember you. Push through heaven. Rise, rise. They will remember you. It is you fight among the dead, beneath the dirt. Or do you know yet? Or do you want it? And when the giants call to ask you what you're worth, or do you know yet? Win or die.